Good afternoon and welcome to a glistening Sydney Harbour. Plenty of sunshine, full-on sunshine, and plenty of wind for the final race of this year's Giltinan 18ft Skiff World Championship, and it's the final day of racing for the 18-foot season as well. But it's Peter Shipway with the Sailmaker team coming to you from a harbour that's full with a lovely northeasterly sea breeze. It's been in early and it's up to about 15 to 18 and perhaps 20 knots at times. So the title, if you've just joined us, was decided yesterday really, with Yandu now having an unassailable points lead on the points table, and also Shaw and Partners Australia are locked into second. They can't be beaten, so the real interest will be on the third place getters, and then probably from there down to 10. But we'll talk about that shortly. So I say good afternoon for the last time today, Dolly, for this season anyway, isn't it?
Oh, Shippo, afternoon viewers. What a day for skiff sailing, and what a way to finish off the JJ Giltinans for 2026. Bit of a shame that we don't have a sail off today with the title already decided, but 27 degrees, 20 knot nor'easter, reasonably clear harbour right now, which should only get better. 0.8 tide that's coming in, so that's going to keep the harbour a little bit flatter rather than having the wind against the tide. So look, it's shaping up to be a great race, and as you say, mate, the top two places are decided, but really, really tight. Third place, they've got half a hand on that third place, but from there back to 10th, it's still a lot can change in that space. Interestingly, when we left the park, there was still some rig decisions being made, which to me was a bit surprising, but a couple of people were thinking about putting in big rig, and it's definitely not big rig out there. So if anyone did make that decision, they're going to be in a little bit of strife, I think. We used to say big rigs win big races, but yeah, it's a bit fresh for that. We're getting gusts of up to 20 knots at the wedding cake.
Well, yesterday, if you were watching, it was a super, super light day, but it was a very tricky race. But there was the race changed leaders about 10 times throughout, and at the end it was the Lazarus boys that got the job done. But it was very exciting, probably if not if you're a contestant, but to watch it, and from the Sailmaker team to bring it to you. We say hello to Jimmy Bury. Jimmy, we've got course signals up already. There's no surprise on what course it's going to be. Good afternoon to you.
Afternoon, Pete. Afternoon, viewers. Yep, course number 1, the Northeast course. One of our favourite courses, and an awesome way to finish this season. And we start down near Clark Island. They work their way up to the Bisha Boy, run down around Shark Island down to Clark, back up to the Bisha Boy, run straight down the harbour to Clark Island, back up to the Bisha Boy for the final time for the season, round Shark Island, and then to finish off Double Bay.
Well, it's a course we like, and it's plenty of breeze to like it with. I think Yandu and Shaw and Partners, as Dolly said when we left, I think they were on big rigs, so they'll have a bit on if they're on big rigs, but it's a day of really just a victory lap, certainly for Yandu, with the title well assured now. And this boat has won the last 3 titles, as we said yesterday, with 3 different skippers. So we might now, we've still got about 25 minutes or so to the start on the harbour, might have a look at the point score, and we'll take you through that. There's the top 10, but we'll go right through them in a moment on all the placings. Yandu clearly ahead on 15. That's Keegan York and Shaw and Partners, Australia second. GC Sales, Scott Cunningham, done a terrific job, third at the moment. Now it gets very tight. You see Lazarus in 4th position, has got 46 points, then 47, 52, 53, 55, 61 and 62. Gets a bit spread out down towards 9th and 10th, but from 4th through to about 8th, any of those places could be turned over today in this beautiful sailing conditions. And there's the full list, right down to number 27. So 11, we've got the Balmain. They've really, as we said yesterday, had a disappointing regatta. They were the Australian champions, and big hopes were held, and things just haven't gone their way. ASCC started the regatta so well, the New Zealand team, but then fell away a little bit in the second half. been rag and famished. They were up early as well, a young team, but they won't be too disheartened with that effort. In the Bigfoot, bags and covers from Brisbane, they have been there or thereabouts, always starting well. Fisher and Paykel, the veteran, Brett Van Munster. There's Brisbane 18-footers, Club Marine, Andu USA. Well, they're in the top 20. Terrific. Killer Coffee, Jordan Gertis, Bar Karate, the Royal Oak, the Berlin Bears, Ballard Properties, the Akarana Eatery, the other New Zealand boat, Badnane, the Vikings, Gotcha for Life, and coming up at the tail of the fleet is the 18-footer bar and restaurant. So the breeze is beautifully in from the northeast, about 15, 18 knots, and we're getting reading off the Western Channel Pile, which is about 2/3 the way up the Windward Beat to the Sound Pigs area. The Beagle Boy has got readings there of gusting a little bit over 20. So there's there's today's sponsor, and the kitchen maker with Lockie Steele, George Morton and Jerome Watts. Yeah, sorry, Dol, go ahead.
We've got, so far I've seen one big rig, which is the Balmain, which is pretty interesting. Now, the Balmain, you know, they were going into this regatta looking like they were going to be a serious contender, and they haven't had the best of regattas, and I'm guessing today they've thought, well, we'll throw caution to the wind and see what happens, and they've put the big rig in. Jimmy did say that Lazarus were thinking about it, but they look like they've got the small rig in, number 2 rig. But yeah, so far, mate, the only one I've seen is the Balmain.
Well, they're Shore and Partners New Zealand. That's the number 2 rig on that boat. They're looking to get up higher in the placings. At the moment, they are in 6th position, but could easily squeeze up a few and make things a bit interesting for those boats ahead of them on the point score. But Yandu, it's been their series really. They've had 4 wins, 2 seconds and 2 sevenths. So at the moment they're discarding a 7, and they will just go through the motions today and get round this track. Rail the heavy crew with Louis Brake and Fang Warren on the bow and on the sheet, and they will be they're winning their 3rd title in a row. But a little bit earlier today, before we went out off the dock, we're waiting for Herman winning, and I think may have celebrated with a drink or 3, but he had a few words to say to us in the park. Well, congratulations, your 2nd title, but
yeah, mate.
It was a bit tricky yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a tough day. It was a bit of a mind, I won't say mind F word, but yeah, it was, snakes and ladders, and a lot of patience needed, and the boys did a great job.
Yeah. You've just stepped back into the class just after Christmas.
Yep.
Good boat to step back into it. It goes like a rocket, doesn't it?
Yeah, she's a beauty.
But you've got to point it in the right direction. You've got to have a good crew, which you've got, obviously.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they do a good job.
Yeah. So they've won 3 in a row.
They have.
This boat's won 3 in a row.
Yeah.
3 different skippers.
Yeah, there you go.
Going to make it 4 in a row?
Maybe 4 different skippers, maybe for these boys.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Good.
You're on camera. You're on camera.
This is Louis' mum.
Yeah, I know.
Legend. There we go.
Well, that was Louis' mum, number 1 supporter.
Good.
Well, anyway, got a lovely day. Don't do a victory lap today.
Yeah, victory lap.
Yeah, it's lovely. Lovely nor'easter. Anyway, mate, congratulations. Really thrilled. The only father and son to have skippered JJ Champions. You know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah, well, you now know. Others have won it as crew, but no 2 have won it as father and son as skippers.
Oh, there you go.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Well done, mate.
Cheers, Shipper.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Right, buddy. Well, there you go. That's short and sharp with Herman winning. And he's been short and sharp in this regatta. Very, very, very well sailed to this team. And Louis Brake and Fang Warren. We might hear from them a little bit later, but we've got a bit on our plate out here at the moment. It's the fleet are coming out from Double Bay. Still got a bit of time to go to the start time, but it's still plenty of wind. It's going to last the whole race, isn't it?
Yeah, he's quite a character, Herman, isn't he?
Yeah,
and the crew uniform.
Yeah, I like that shirt. I
think that's the coolest 18-foot skiff crew uniform that I've ever seen. Certainly adding a bit of colour and vibe to the boat park. But yeah, I think you might have been right. I think they might have done a bit of early celebrating last night. But yeah, back to what we're looking at here. There's the we've got there's a Club Marine, Emma Rankin, little flyweight, so obviously she's got the number 2 rig in, and yeah, we're still, you haven't spotted any more big rigs, have you, Jimmy?
No, the only other 2 that I knew of was the Yandu and Shore and Partners Australia were both toying with the idea of going big rig, and they're not out here as yet, so I'd have it as a guess that
They're changing down.
There's an urgent, see how quickly you can de-rig and re-rig a 18-foot skiff.
Yeah. I know Shore and Partners had both rigs out, and at the time I saw them, they were erring on big, and I thought to myself, it's more likely to build in this weather, wouldn't it, Shippo, than drop off. That's for sure.
That'll be the thoughts. But, Dol, let's look at Yandu. Firstly, as we said, 3 in a row. It's pretty formidable. Let's talk about the sails. Who makes the sails for the top 3 boats?
Yeah, so the top 3 boats, both Yandu and Shore and Partners have got Dark Horse gear from Nick Daly and Michael Carter. So they're membranes which are produced over in Europe, and they bring them over, and just the raw material, basically, the moulded sail, and then they put them together over at Kirribilli. And then GC Sails, Scotty Cunningham's boat. So GC Sails is Joel Turner, who sails on the sheet on the boat, and very talented sailor and sailmaker. And GC Sails is a fairly new addition to as a sail-making company. So they're running North's working gear, which Joel has done quite a fair bit of work on the rig and the sails, just tweaking them. And then there's Spinnakers, Joel has made them. So they're GC Sails Spinnakers. Unfortunately, one of them became a little bit second-hand the other day. If you were watching on, I think it was Wednesday, was it? They blew that Spinnaker completely in half, and that was a little bit of a sharp edge on the end of their top spreader. For those who are wondering what makes a Spinnaker explode in half like that. So in the process, they'd already had a little nick in it, a little bit of a split in it prior, but then when they ragged the Spinnaker to try and make it into the finish for that second place, which unfortunately Yandu just pipped them on the post, that Spinnaker blew completely in half. But Keegan's boat, Shore and Partners, new boat, bit of a late start-up. He was adapting some new sails, some old sails. They're only allowed to bind 3 new sails in a season. I do know Fang Warren has had a lot of input into the gear on Yandu, so both in getting the rig set up and tweaking the sails to fit what he considers to be the optimum mast setup. And I know I've spoken at length throughout the season about how sweet that rig sets up, and out of all the boats in the fleet, they can make both their rigs get through a range of conditions, and that's a real key. A lot of boats have got a sweet spot, which might be in a 4 or 5 knot wind range within the range of that rig, but Yandu is the boat who've made their rig work over the broadest range, and that's played a big part in their success for sure.
Well, thank you, Dolly. There's we've been looking at there's 2 ferries out today, and they are both in the vernacular chock-a-block. A lot of people down, old 18-foot sailors are down here. There's the big ferry at the top and the smaller ferry down below, and both absolutely full of spectators. And also, as we said earlier, sadly, it's our last race of the season, not only the JJs, but the last race of the 18-foot season. And the live chat has absolutely exploded here. So I really can't go through everyone, but there's Mick Ralphs there. He's been a great supporter. Ian Barnard, Dort at Sunshine, Ben Sailing, Lynn Reeves, Kurt Flint. Thank you, Kurt. Nice comments. Tony Buck, and so on and so on. Yankee Express is there. Haven't seen the dog biter today. I hope you're all right, dog biter. Graham Long, Hurricane Sails. Cheers from Hurricane Sails in Columbia River Gorge. Go Emma and Beck. Yeah, I think we'd support that. The F27 3 Sigma. Greetings from San Francisco Bay, California. Very, very nice to have you all with us. Yankee Express, congratulations to Herman, Fang and Louis. Yeah, great regatta. Woody is proud, I'm sure. No doubt about that. Russell Blake, Sue Hod, Hurd is there. Winston, Grant Rollinston. I haven't heard from Rollo. He normally comes in with a bit of really thoughtful advice.
Informative, yeah.
Yeah, probably say it's northeast from the harbour. Thank you, Rollo.
He'll say it's a little rig.
Yeah. Christian Dameron, greetings from Savoy, France. Bonsoir. Well, you'll be happy with your rugby team. They got out of jail after the full-time bell. And there's someone else there that I saw. Julian Hannibus. And so on. Steve Taylor is there. Trevor Parker. So thank you. I'm sure I've missed a lot, but again, thank you throughout the year for your support. The Sail Media are very, very grateful.
Yeah, I saw Julian Hannibus made a very nice comment on Facebook the other day. And,
nice. Well, thank you.
Nipper Henderson's not there today, mate.
He probably is.
He probably is, but
so
Nipper's always there. Yeah.
So I got 6th running down with a big tangle in their Spinnaker.
Just noticed Shore and Partners have arrived on the course area with their little rig and still searching for the Yandu to see.
Where's Yandu? What rig's that?
That looks like the big rig to me.
Well,
can't see the end of the boom's the giveaway. If we can see the end of the boom,
we'll get to them in a minute.
You turn around and look with your own eyes, Dole.
I can't see that
right
far.
there.
Yeah, that looks like the big rig.
So we're on the harbour for the final heat of the JJ Championship. First and second already decided. Yandu and Shore and Partners Australia cannot be beaten for those 2 positions. Today's partner is the Kitchen Maker. And the duel will be for really the placings 3 to about 10. It's a lovely day. Can't even see a cloud actually, so it is a cloudless sky. Looking upwind, there's plenty of white caps, and the long beat up to the Beachel buoy. 3 long beats and then a couple of triangles and 1 windward leeward. And we're still waiting signals on the committee boat. We've still got about 9 minutes to go, 11 minutes to go to an actual start here.
So the start line should open in about a minute. Yeah, with the incoming tide, it doesn't look... there we go, right on cue. With the incoming tide, it doesn't look quite as windy as it is because it's not chopping up as much as it can.
Still plenty of white caps, though, for everyone.
There is, yeah. I think it's 20 knots. It's going to be 20 knots up at the Beachel buoy. I'm pretty convinced of that. It's a little bit north of northeast too, so it's a little bit left.
Talking of the Beachel buoy, saw Adam Beachel in the park, and his son Joel, his 18th birthday today.
It is.
I don't think it'll be too long before he perhaps puts a foot into this class. I know he's had a couple of cameo appearances with great success, and obviously from a great sailing family. And he was second yesterday at Manly in the 16-foot skiffs, so he certainly knows his way around the track in these skiffs, and what an addition that would be when and if he comes into the 18-footers. So we're near the starting area. It's off Double Bay between Point Piper and Clark Island. There's the committee vessel. There's the Killer Coffee. Commodore of the 18-footers, Jordan Gertis. Down a bit in the placings, but enjoying himself. He's had a lovely regatta, he said.
He's done a good job since coming back to the the skiffs and jumping on the Killer Coffee. A bit of a short lead up and showing moments of brilliance, that's for sure, just lacking a bit of consistency. Here comes Balmain with the big rig.
Wow, look at
that.
They're going to have a bit on.
We used to say in my day, Shippo, big rigs win big races.
That's right.
And today's a big race, but I'm not sure It's going to be interesting to see them get over the island each time. I'll look forward to that.
You know whose saying that was? Big rigs win big races.
Oh, I think a lot of people claim to have started it. You give me your version, Shippo.
The great bear, Donny Barnett.
Donny Barnett, great man.
The champion in 1967 with Associated Motor Club. And his grandson is now sailing on Vycobie, Daniel Barnett. And his son Phil Barnett is in the park as well. He's a former JJ champion as crew. So that's the man that we reckon started it. Big sails win big races.
Well, he was a great man, so if we're giving him credit for it, I'm happy with that. Yeah, I'm happy with that.
I'm more than happy with that. The man they call the bear. So, Balmain with a big rig. Did we work out what Yandu had on?
Yeah, they're big as well.
Big rig?
Yeah.
Well, they can just lay back and enjoy it, so to speak. Hello to Joy Brown. Hello to you up there I think you've had a pretty wet time up Bribey Island way. Thank you for your nice comments.
Rob Brown's here as well today. We had a very nice dinner last night, bit of a catch-up of old 18 sailors from my era, Shippo. Plenty of tall stories.
I'm sure.
Maybe the truth got bent a few times, but
it's all right. Doesn't matter at our age.
But a bunch of the guys have come down today, had a look in the park, gone out on the ferry. So no doubt they'll be telling everyone on the ferry how good they were too. There's the Yandu with the big rig. The two big rigs have actually looked in pretty good control when we've been looking at them. So it's not like they're doing it too difficult. But as we know, if the rigs start going inside out, if the mains start flogging, it really slows you down. And I was saying before, Shippo, about Yandu getting their rig through the range well. You rarely see their main flog because they can just detune it, get the rig tension right down, open up the slot between the jib and the main, just twist off the head. They tend to be able to hold their mid-leach, but it'll be a real test for them in this much pressure.
Seen the Black Knight just at the committee vessel, just off camera at the moment. They didn't have a great day yesterday. They're down to 12th, which was easy to do. They're 7th at the moment in the point score. Just running away down the line. Just waiting for the 5-minute signals to go up from the PRO Hugh Lester and his team on the Ripple side, which is the committee vessel, start vessel. Yeah, the breeze is, it's 15, 18 perhaps, but except we think Balmain and Yandu, and there's the 5-minute signals for the last time this season. Well, who knows? Maybe have a general recall. Let's not talk about that. We're just under 5 minutes away from the final heat. Killer Coffee, the partners today, the Kitchen Maker, the final heat.
Darren McCavanagh, one of the longest standing sponsors at the club. I think second longest or third longest. Third longest, is it, Jimmy? Thank you. Rag and Famish and
Smeg have been up there, I would think.
But Darren's been a great supporter of not just the 18-footers, but he also puts a lot of effort into youth sailing for kids who are coming through. Yeah, only a couple of weeks ago, he organised to get all the kids from the Open Skiff, the Open Vic class, down to the park, and they went out on the ferry, and then all the kids jumped on 18-footers after the race and had a sail, and the smiles on those kids' faces back in the park and the excitement really said it all. So I think we might have inspired another generation in 10 or 15 years to jump into 18-footers. Absolutely fantastic effort, Darren.
It's Clark Island we're looking at. It's a bit back behind the start line. And it's a race to Bradley's again, as always in the nor'easterly course, I would think. The breeze is pretty true nor'easter where we are at the starting area.
Line is probably pretty even, but maybe a bit pinned back, I think.
Yeah.
So, and as always, if you can get to Bradley's with with a lane to tack out
That's
is the key.
isn't it? Yeah, you've got to get out.
And if you start down at the pin, you have to be very quick if you want to be able to get that tack in on the other side.
3 minutes to go. Final heat of the 2026 JJ Championship about to get underway on the harbour. We don't have any yachts running through the start line with Spinnakers like we did yesterday. That was one of the great things I've ever seen, really. That guy, we might award him something after this race.
He pulled it off with
He
a little
did?
help
Yeah.
with a little help from Balmain.
Probably thought, well,
Balmain just opened up a gap for him to let him through, which is very kind of them.
he probably thought, what was the problem? But that's the view looking back towards beautiful Darling Point and Rushcutters Bay and the city skyline. Coming up to 2 minutes. Good northeasterly breezes of 15 knots, maybe more. Certainly probably more as they get up towards the weather mark.
Quite a lot of boats looking for midline, Shippo. We've got a bunch up at the top, but the majority are probably shaping up for midline right now. We'll see if we get... Yesterday we had a huge midline sag. So the boats who were midline, they were well off. They were a good probably 5 or 6 boat lengths off the start.
Yep, a minute 40 to go. We're pretty nicely held back at the moment, but only needs 1 or 2 to put the pedal down, and we all start to go. But down towards the leeward end, we've got Smeg is down there, and Fisher Paykel down there.
GC Sails.
GC Sails also.
Shore and Partners looking for midline along with 6 Kitchen Maker, Vycobi and the Black Knight. And once again, we've got Yandu shaping up for the boat and maybe looking to come in a little bit late again. So nothing to lose for them today.
That sag is still in the middle. Minute to go.
They do want to put an exclamation mark on this series, though. They'll win it if they can.
So GC Sails down one of the boats down towards the pin end. 40 seconds, that's all. Oh, Akarana Idri, all trouble on the line. And up to windward is Rag and Famish and Yandu with just 25 seconds to go.
Pretty well behaved. The pin end starting to move up a bit, though.
Yeah. Big sag in the middle, as you said. Shore and Partners New Zealand in the middle. Kitchen Maker in the middle. 6th in the middle. And here we go at the windward end. 10 seconds to go. And Yandu are going to get the windward end. We're away. 4, 3, 2, all. 1 down.
18 footers.
Yeah.
Individual. They look like the only one to me, the 18-footer bar and restaurant.
Yeah, very well advanced at the pin. So we're off to Bradley's. Yandu got a good start at the windward end, but he's on to Big Rig, and you can see there's Andu having tacked out the Americans.
18-footer bar and restaurant are returning, Shippo, but they've had to go right through the spectator fleet down at the leeward end. Real long way for them to go, and I've also seen
the Killer Coffee Company heading back as well.
Going back, yeah.
As is
ASCC.
That's
ASCC. Flag.
So the breeze a little
Flags down, Jimmy.
A little in the left. They're not laying anywhere near Bradley's at the moment. It's Yandu, the most weather boat, just starting to get into his stride now, but coming round his bow slightly is the Rag and Famish with the second rig on. Yandu with the big rig, one of the few boats with a big rig. The fleet away to Bradley's head for the final time.
ASCC spotted the flag had gone down and didn't go back all the way, but they've given away a lot of distance.
Yesterday's heat winner, Lazarus. Nice start in the middle of the line. Now the big trick will be to get back on port tack to get a lane to go back in. There's Lazarus to the right. He is smoking along Lazarus. Majority still on starboard. Those that went out on port have all come back.
Balmain with the big rig look to be struggling a little bit.
Yep.
As opposed to Yandu up the top end of the line with the big rig, they look like they're getting through the water pretty well.
Okay, we're approaching the tack here at Bradley's. There's one capsized off camera. The Royal Oak is just capsized. There's Ash Rooklyn tacking the Smeg. He's going to take a few sterns here to get back. There's GC Sails prominent in the left-hand group.
Because there's a little bit of north in this, Shippo, it's a little bit north of northeast, the gusty area is out a lot further from Bradley's Head than what we normally see.
GC Sails going back, taking about 2 or 3 sterns. He's going to behind Lazarus and then up on the hip of Smeg. So this group, here's the Germans here. They are moving pretty smartly. Won't want to go much further. No, they've tacked. It's a pretty good place to tack in, really. As much further up and it's pretty light. So what have we got? We've got GC Sails and Smeg. Yandu's deep, about a tenth or so. Bigfoot just tacking. No one else has come further than the Bigfoot. Now 18-footers, Brisbane 18s.
Starting to get into that patchy zone.
Yeah, you won't want to leave it much longer.
And
that's what happens.
You go.
That's what happens. Get let down very quickly here. Ballard Properties going to have to duck Yandu. So Yandu's still going on starboard. And up to windward of them is Andu. We'll come back to them in a moment. There's Andu. They had to tack away on port after the start. They've held their lane pretty good since they've tacked back onto starboard. So Rag and Famish and Yandu, they haven't tacked, but they were the most windward 2 boats. Oh, there's a yacht coming around Bradley's. There's Rag and Famish tacks.
Yandu's had to pull away there.
And Yandu is going to have a conversion with a yacht here. They'll have to tack, surely.
Yep, top of screen off Bradley's Head, you can see there.
So they're the most left boat now. Oh, there's a powerboat just going across them. So big rig. It's going to be tough work for this champion crew as Vycobi will come across. There's Kirk Mitchell. They're on the leaderboard at the moment. They are in 8th position. 8th position, I think, 7th or 8th. 8th position. So they're going right into Bradley's, right at the lighthouse of Bradley's. Dan Barnett and Andrew Stevenson along with Kirk.
But they're stepped up on Bradley's enough that they're not in the gusty stuff. So,
and the breeze doesn't look all that strong out in the middle of the harbour. Still second sail for most, but Yandu is starting to get rolling. But the boats that went right into Shark Island, they look very, very strong when they come out of the right. Black Knight from Germany is well placed. And below him, Shaw and Partners New Zealand, Lazarus. That's the Bigfoot just tacked back onto starboard. GC Sails, they're probably about 4th or so. Oh, Lazarus have done a bad tack.
Ordinary tack, yep.
Not up to their standard. Now here's the left-hand group, led by Vycobi.
Yeah, I think the right-hand boats will cross Vycobi, I think.
Yandu just took the stern of Rag and Famish. There's Andu. Vycobi came back for more. They didn't like what they saw looking out to the right. So,
good pressure.
Oh, Andu, the Americans are in trouble.
There is very good pressure over in this left-hand side, the western shore.
There looks more in the left, doesn't it, at the moment?
And Shibbo, the Manly Fast Ferry again stopping behind the fleet to let them sail, which is good to see.
First class effort, that.
It's like another spectator ferry, Jimmy.
Well, these two are the leading boats going into the left. Bigfoot, Dave Hayter, and Vycobi, Kirk Mitchell. Going right into Taylor's Bay, looking for that left-hander to punch back out on.
Well, when that fast ferry found a slot to go through, he took off and nearly took the bow pole off Balmain.
We'll give him 10 out of 10.
He did well.
Yeah, I spoke to their boss the other night. I ran into him and I said, mate, can you pass on our thanks to your skippers because of, them doing that?
They've been very good this week, haven't they, Jimmy?
Mate, they've been unreal, so you don't often get that here on Sydney Harbour.
The breeze only up in Taylor's Bay, just 15, I'd say, maybe a little bit more. But here's the Black Knight leading a group that have gone up the middle or to the right. Great overhead of the Black Knight.
And Eli Leafting doing very well, just out to weather and behind of Black Knight with GC sails. So I think that's our lead group. Would it be, Shippo, coming out of that side? Those three boats.
Yeah, Lazarus not far behind, nor is Smeg. Yandu's back a fair way, but no need for panic. The championship is theirs. Oh, there's a Vycobian Bigfoot have tacked. They'll be close to this lead if they get this left-hander, but I think that group on starboard will be... Oh, it's hard to know.
It's going to be close.
Close, yeah. I think the Black Knight will get across. Well, they're starboard, of course, so they will get across. Yeah, Black Knight across. Lazarus coming strongly as well. Vycobi's going to take a stern here. Bigfoot's taking a stern. So it looks like Black Knight, GC Sails, Bigfoot, perhaps Smeg, Lazarus and Vycobi.
Shore and Partners,
Shore
New
and
Zealand
Partners.
are hiding behind.
Oh, there he
GC.
is. He's popped out.
Yep.
Yeah, so Shore and Partners are probably second. It's got a bit light up here.
A little bit
light
patchy.
Up. There's the leaderboard. Yandu not showing in the top 10. So Lazarus is tacked out. They're going to have to take the stern of Smeg.
Black Knight will be the furthest boat left.
And he'll cross everyone. The Bigfoot tacking in the middle of the harbour as Vycobi's still going. There's Bigfoot coming back on starboard. If you go too far into Taylor's Bay, it's very light up here. Just round that chowder head.
Yeah, some big squirts, but yeah, it looks like Black Knight will lead.
There's top of screen is Yandu. Shore and Partners Australia are well back also.
Oh, and these boats coming back on starboard right at a J24 under tow. They've had to just duck around behind it.
So Smeg have done nicely coming into the left. Ash Rooklyn, he'd be nearly close to second. He's got an intersection with Shore and Partners New Zealand. It's going to be tight. I think he's across. He's across, so Smeg perhaps second. Oh, Shore and Partners Australia. It's a prank. Andu.
And Shore and Partners are together.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. That looks rather serious. So the Americans got themselves in trouble there with Shore and Partners. I
think
maybe that boat under tow. Oh, there's a capsize behind us. Went to pull away round the stern, couldn't get there.
Bavarian Bears and Bar Karate.
Bavarian Bears.
Berlin
Berlin Bears.
Bears, sorry.
I was going to say we've got a new team.
Yeah. Well, the Berlin Bears from Bavaria.
Well, that's the runway we're looking at up harbour. Andu got going again. And Shore and Partners doing turns. Shore and Partners Australia.
They've infringed on ASCC
in doing the turns.
Keegan York. Fortunately, he's got second place sewing up. He's going further and further back. ASCC, bit of yelling there, but
a few words exchanged from ASCC there. Let's see if Shore and Partners do another turn here.
One's enough at the moment.
Getting dizzy.
So what we're seeing here is that the Germans, the Black Knight, are still leading. We're about halfway up the first beat. We're off Chowder Bay.
Yeah, the Germans in Black Knight are now to the right of their opposition, so it'll be interesting to see what they can find to tack back on, Shippo. Boats in the left. Each time boats chip into the left, they're getting that left-hand lift.
And there's Smeg. Ash Rookland's coming back. He's going to cross Vycobi. See Vycobi in a minute by a couple of boat lengths. But one of the boats that's moving nicely up in the left in Chowder Bay is no surprise is Yandu. He's off camera at the moment. So the two boats with big sails are right in Chowder. There's Balmain, Henry Larkins, Tom Grimes and Lockie Pryor. There's Yandu.
A lot of mainsail twist. But as I say, even with that mainsail twist, they've got the jib twisted off and their battens aren't going inside out, which is a real credit to the boys in this sort of breeze condition, up-range big rig.
They can change their gears pretty well on that boat. Sixth will go across in front of them, and they'll be looking for a good position to maintain their fifth on the scoreboard. But it's the Black Knight from Germany, GC Sails, are probably the two leaders, and Smeg in Chowder Bay. Ash Rookland coming back. He'd be 4th or 5th, or maybe even closer.
Yeah,
they could possibly be second.
Yeah, Black Knight coming back on starboard has rights, but it's going to be an interesting intersection here. I think Smeg's going to concede and just pull away a touch and go behind them, I think.
Vycobi attacking. Where are they? They've tacked. And then up on their hip are Shaw and Partners New Zealand. Oh, it's a good race. It's all very close. Lazarus is there. Bigfoot's there.
GC Sails.
Yep.
Tell you who's doing well is the Vikings from... they've got to be close to the top 10.
Yeah, I haven't seen much of them this week. They didn't finish yesterday.
No, they had something wrong with their tack line where it was stuck at the end of the pole, so they went back in to do that, and in the procedures of doing that, they dropped the pin in the rudder pin in the mud of Double Bay.
Well, there they are there. Look pretty comfortable at the moment. It's going out of Chowder Bay. This is going to be pretty close at this weather mark up here. A lot of boats locked together.
Well, the Black Knight have worked hard all week, and looks like they might have finally tweaked some pace out of that little rig. And all the way through since the national ship, I've been really impressed with the GC Sails little rig. They've been quick with the little rig every time.
Well, probably they could have overcooked this weather mark.
A bit overdone on the ley line.
Well, at the moment they have, but
tide's coming in.
Yeah, there's more breeze coming around the point. It's not super high left, but no, they're probably pretty good at the moment.
Yeah, tide coming in is going to take us down harbour a little. There they are.
So furthest to the right is Smeg, but that's New Zealand Vycobi. There's Smeg. Starboard rounding at this mark. Smeg looking very promising out in the middle. Niall Morrow, Josh Beremski with Ash Rookland. They'll be in the top few, if not the top boat.
Yeah, it'll be interesting when they come back. If they are in close proximity with the Black Knight, they'll be on port.
Yeah, so they won the third heat.
They'll come in with right, Smeg.
So he should be tacking. There he goes now. So it'll give him about 50 metres to go back on port when he gets up to the ley line. And there's a big pack coming in from the left. I think Vycobi's going to be across Smeg. Oh, he's tacked on his bow. And then this boat, I think the New Zealanders could lead here.
Yeah, Shore and Partners New Zealand.
Yeah, they have laid this mark. Are they laying?
Yeah, I think they will
tight,
ship
they're
out.
in
It's going to be
squeeze mode.
tight, but they'll get there.
And the Germans have overlaid for sure. And New Zealand on squeeze mode. Okay, Eli Lifting is going to lead them round. Sam Street and Josh Shum. They're around tight.
Oh, they got it.
It's not the mark that you want to hit.
No,
They're pretty
oh, a
solid.
bit of yelling. Black Knight inside them, then Smeg, then Vycobi. It's right on here. Boat for boat, then GC Sails. Good set on the German crew.
Excellent rounding
Bang, those
from
went
Black
bang.
Knight. Yeah, excellent work.
So GC Sails, then Lazarus will be next. Smega got a twist, but it's coming out. Lazarus, then the Bigfoot, then Yandu. So they're all running into the Nielsen Park shore near Bottle and Glass. So where does that put Yandu? About 8th or 9th. Okay, Bigfoot's around. Yandu with their number one rig in, or their big rig.
Made it look easy, Shippo.
Jibe set.
Jibe set. Okay, the Americans around.
Rag and Famish.
Yeah, Rag and Famish. Next will be Balmain.
Oh,
On
tight for
squeeze
Balmain.
mode. Don't smash into the mark. Could do yourself some real damage. Club Marine on the outside, then the Kitchen Maker. All tight here. And then Shore and Partners Australia still to go round. They didn't have a great work. They had to do a penalty turn, at least one. Who's next around? We've got Kitchen
The
Maker
Vikings,
around. The
and then
Vikings.
Fisher and Paykel.
Then Brett Van Munster, he's around. Then
Brisbane 18 footers.
Brisbane 18s, then ASCC and Shore and Partners Australia, then the Royal Oak, Ballard Properties, Killer Coffee. Well, this is interesting. Yandu, Jibe set, and we're off to Shark Island, and we're away. Most boats bear away, set, and then run in towards Nielsen. Not Yandu. Jibe set and ran in towards Clifton Gardens. Beautiful nor'easter on the harbour, 15 or so knots.
Look at it, spectator fleet, Shippo. It's like one of your Sydney to Hobart
Yes,
stunts,
it is.
mate.
It's a washing machine, but what a day. What a day for the 18s to wrap up their season and wrap up the JJs.
Wow, huge spectator fleet running down the Nielsen Park shore.
What a day to watch. Yandu's now coming back out of the right. Looking downwind, and above them is Vycobi. Okay, these boats have now jibed to lay in to try and pick a ley line to get to Shark Island. That's always tricky.
Yeah, breeze a little bit north still though, so it'll be a slightly easier lay in around the island on such a squeeze, depending on the angle that they pick. But Smeg, GC Sails and Vycobi have chosen to jibe a lot earlier than the Black Knight and Eli Lifting in Shore and Partners New Zealand.
It's all about the jibe angle. These three are a lot higher on the ley line here. They'll probably have two more jibes back.
Scotty Cunningham in GC Sails once again doing an excellent job. There he goes, he's having to jibe out and get a little bit more depth. As I said, these three boats had jibed a bit earlier. And Black Knight and Shore and Partners New Zealand cross in front of GC Sails. Can the Black Knight roll over the top here? Who's that heading home down there, Jimmy?
I don't know if they're heading home.
Or are they still coming to
might
Windward?
be, but it's the Berlin Bears, mate.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. All right, we're on the leaders here. Black Knight, and to leeward of them, Eli Leifting in Shore and Partners, New Zealand, carrying the hopes of all New Zealand on his shoulders.
Probably with Sydney Harbour's most unattractive powerboat in between them. They just went one either side of it.
It's not the wind that's your problem, it's the powerboats out here.
And already it looks like Eli Leifting's pushing
Struggling.
for height.
Absolutely struggling here. And Black Knight, Heinrich von Bayern's got the nose in front. Judge this pretty well.
I think they're a bit
They're
deep
tight
too,
now.
Shippo.
Starting to flog. Yep. And behind them is that GC Sails. I think have got a pretty good angle. Anyway, I think it's going to get a little bit quieter, I think, for these two leaders. Is that GC Sails up in third spot? I think it is, isn't it? Yeah. So he's got a pretty nice angle, but now the Black Knight's going to be okay. He's almost there. He's about 40 metres from the turning mark.
And the boat in the right shot there,
Yeah.
Shippo, that's coming in extra hot. And with a pretty good angle is Yandu with the big rig on. They are flying.
They smoked down that run. Okay.
Look at them go.
Germans are into the jibe. Germany jibes. New Zealand to jibe. And Queensland to jibe. So it's Black Knight, Shore and Partners, New Zealand. And he jibed early, the Black Knight. He's going to be run into a bit of a lead so high, I think.
Very puffy in there.
Yeah. Okay, GC Sails very much in touch in third spot. Fourth, look at Yandu right at the mark in a screaming puff. And now up to windward of them is Smeg. So Yandu probably fourth. They're jibing early also.
Yeah, with the big kite, they're going to get carted away as soon as they get some pressure.
And Black Knight got out of there very well. We'll see him shortly. So it's Yandu around, Vycobi round, then the Bigfoot, then Lazarus, followed by Rag and Famish and Balmain and sixth. So we're racing down back to Clark Island, the leeward mark. This is the first triangle completed. Look at Yandu.
And Yandu's in the pressure now, and they will be going deep and fast. That big rig is overpowered as a disadvantage upwind, but if you can run deep VMG with it, they will really be going quick.
Great work from this champion crew.
They're mowing down this lead three, Shippo.
Carried all before them in this regatta, really. It's been their regatta as evidenced on the point score. GC Sails a bit slower, but Yandu with a big rigger just absolutely mowing them down.
And the bottom mark is deep, I think. So I think the small rigs have probably got another jibe to do to get in there, whereas Yandu, we'll see how they go. They're running pretty deep and fast right now.
They've just got to get over the top of GC Sails, which is always the problem when you've got a little rig below you, when you've got the big rig on.
Get the squeeze on, yeah. He's just put his left indicator on, Jimmy.
Yeah. So that's Shore and Partners second, GC third, and Yandu fourth. And Black Knight leads. We'll lead them around here, I think. Although, has he got two jibes to go?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. They're well above the mark, aren't they? Yandu on the soak mode. That's the order. So we've got to execute two more jibes here.
Whereas Yandu's going to lay this in one, I think.
That's what he's trying to do, I think, Herman winning. Most leeward boat at the moment. So the Germans have got to pick two jibes here.
They're going to have to nail them because they're going to be coming back on port.
It's quite fresh looking to windward of them. There's GC Sails soaking a little. Now, okay, Off camera, the Black Knight are jibing. They're going to jibe drop. Okay, probably okay there. Here they come. These boats all got down to the mark of the last bit. Didn't have to jibe. Black Knight was the first, only boat to really at the moment had to jibe. They're nice and clean. The Martin boys for Heinrich on their way up the second beat. Shore and Partners New Zealand second. GC Sails third. Then round comes Yandu, just off camera at the moment. There they are. A bit of work to do on that big sail.
Yeah, they ended up a bit deep on that mark in the end. Unfortunately for them, those following boats didn't have to jibe.
Then Ashrooklyn next in Smeg. Then Vycobi. So Vycobi's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then Bigfoot. Then Shore and Partners. Then after Bigfoot is Lazarus, and then Keegan York in Shore, Rag and Famish rather, then Balmain. So Lazarus around, then Balmain and the Rag. Following them is 6, wrestling to get the Spinnaker down.
Balmain with being the other big rig.
It's always a little bit fresher down this end of the course. That's the case today. There's plenty of wind here for the little rigs. 6th around. Next dropping is the Kitchen Maker, today's race partner. Oh, bit of pressure on the Club Marine crew here.
Yeah, they've left that late.
Oh, Brando's up to the task. He'll tell you all about it.
Swinging the big arms.
Okay, get her up there, Emma. Well done. And then Shore and Partners Australia. Not having a good day out. Putting the Spinnaker to bed. Then ASCC will be the following boat. The red Spinnaker belongs to
Brisbane 18-footer shipper.
Brisbane 18's up to win there, and there's our Yankee Doodle Dandies, the Andu USA. The blue boat there to leeward. Fisher Paykel to windward. And then the meat and the sandwich is the Brisbane 18-footers. Okay, oh, good speed up dial there from Brett Van Munster. And the breeze is about what it was at the start, probably 16 or 17 knots. So Brisbane 18s and then Andu. A bit of drama here. Killer Coffee next to go, then Ballard. Oh.
Pretty even pressure now, but with so many spectator boats out here looking, the water's got really chopped up now. Boats sort of going everywhere, and there's a lot of boat wash converging, and it's super choppy now. Even on the camera cat here, we're getting pretty thrown around.
There's dropping, and then Ballard Properties in front.
She's around cleanly, Beck Hancock. And the Danes were behind Beck.
So the leaders are all going in towards Bradley's. And it's the Black Knight of Germany will lead. There's a couple of tail enders coming into the leeward mark. Luca Gambacordi and the 18-footer bar and restaurant.
They're flying in there. Cross back shortly, but the Germans in just that one little exchange tack over to Bradley's Head have extended.
Stepped out nicely.
They
That's
have.
them top right, just below the lighthouse there at Bradley's Head. Really doing it nicely. And there's the group following them. It's GC Sails, it's Shore and Partners New Zealand, probably second and third. Yandu fourth.
Did anyone spot Baz in the park today?
Yes,
was he there?
Yeah, Baz Atkins was there. Well, they like this number 2 rig, they were saying, the Black Knight, and they're certainly showing that today.
And they're using, they've probably gained a little bit of knowledge. They've sailed a pretty good track thus far today. Tactically going to all the right places. A bit of Sydney Harbour knowledge has been passed their way, I think.
A couple of the spectator ferries and spectator craft at top of the screen, all having a good look at this championship heat 9 litre. Well, Smeg's decided to go back to Bradley's, and coming out right off Bradley's is Vycobie. He'll cross Smeg. These boats are going out in the middle of the harbour. Right, this is off Bradley's here.
There's Ash Rooklyn. He's about to run out of water. Here he goes. That crew really starting to find their way on Smeg since Josh Perebski's come on board. Made a big difference.
It's a good battle here. Vycobie's close to Shore and Partners New Zealand. So we've got Yandu up to 4th, we're hearing, on the tracker.
Yeah, there's Smeg. Probably about 10 boat lengths behind Shore and Partners New
it's
Zealand.
not high left off Bradley's, that's for sure.
A little bit soft too. It's getting a bit patchy. Massive super yacht coming down the harbour too. That's going to make things interesting.
Bigfoot tacks. Nice tack. He's certainly in the mix today.
A lot of these boats that are in this top group ship are in the mix for that 4 through to 8 or 10
overall placings.
Yeah, they're really battling it out to try and move up the leaderboard. There's a huge super yacht. You want to be on the windward side of that, you'll see it in a moment.
Mischief.
There it is. There it is.
Aptly named Mischief.
Is it, Jimmy?
Yes.
Getting up to a little.
Bit like you blokes last night out on the town.
It has got to get lighter up here in Taylor's Bay. It's probably 2 or 3 knots less than they had at the leeward mark.
Yeah, breezes maybe dropped off a couple of clicks, which that might fall straight into Yandu's wheelhouse, I think.
Yep.
Yeah. But so far, the Prince on the Black Knight is doing a fantastic job there. Just left of screen, there he is. So I think that's your top 3. I think we've got Black Knight, GC Sales, Shore and Partners New Zealand are your top 3.
The only one that could threaten is Vycobie. He's gone out in the middle, coming back, I think. Oh, he's coming back.
Yeah, I think those lead boats will cross him pretty easily, I think. They're well across him now, almost.
So I think the Black Knight will keep going here a little to get the good left hand around Chowder Head. So he's about 140 metres ahead, it's showing. So Yandu's a little bit of return on the mainsail, but Black Knight has tacked right on Chowder Head.
First time I think I've seen them invert the main today, so I think they might have just gone into a little bit of a high mode for a minute there. Back under control again now. Tacking. Manoeuvres with that big sail is the critical time. Oh, what's going on, Lazarus?
They went to duck Vycobie, and something happened. They went into windward, didn't they, Jimmy, I think?
Yeah, I think the main got dropped and
rolled in on top of them.
The wing in and them swimming.
We're up and rumbling again now.
Okay, well, here's a cross coming with Vycobie and Yandu. Yandu are across, so they stay in 4th spot.
Yeah, they're doing well. With that big rig, they are really hanging in there. Vykobi coming right over onto the left-hand side. Just getting a tack in before it gets too puffy. And I would think Shore and Partners New Zealand will probably tack pretty soon. They're not going to put dirt on them though. Very kind of them. That's a little bit too friendly. Friendly Kiwis.
That's what we like.
What they have done is they just went that little bit further to the edge of a gust, so they've tacked on to good pressure there. You can see that water just starting to, a couple of white caps.
Yeah, but it's not super pressure, is it, up here? It's a bit lighter. It's just 15 knots at times, maybe even a whisker less, but the puffs are a little bit more, but it's quite a bit puffy. But out in the middle, it's the Black Knight. On the right of screen there, in the distance.
And sailing the boat really well. They've got good flat angle, little bit of windward incline. Their sail setup looks good and they just keep stepping away, but they're just going to take a dig back, get to the left of their opposition again. Also, there's a ferry coming, Manly ferry coming from the quay. So probably trying to get to the other side of it.
He's just waiting for a hole to open for himself as well, and he's away.
So Yandu have dropped a place. Black Knight going back up towards George's Head.
Yeah, Smeg and Vykobi really closed down some distance on Yandu in that last sort of 500 metres. Ash Rooklyn on a little bit of a charge. On the Smeg. There they are, our race leaders. Heinrich von Bayen on the helm with Tom and Andy Martin in the Black Knight from Germany.
Looking very comfortable at the moment.
I don't think in their previous visits have they won a race, Shippo? I don't think so.
I don't know the answer to that. They've been close at times.
Good tack, back rolling very quickly. They're getting up to speed nicely. They're sailing the boat well. All big header there, just a bit of a gust.
Yeah, nice gust they're coming into.
Nice gust, but down high. But that's all right. I'll just use the boat speed. GC sails hanging on, as are Shore and Partners New Zealand. There's GC sails.
He's about 50 metres behind the Black Knight.
And same thing, they look like they've got the boat well under control and rolling nicely.
So Shore and Partners have tacked in chowder and going out basically on the same line as the Black Knight. That's look what's happening down to leeward. There's Yandu.
Yeah, so they'll be underlaid. GC Sails has chosen to get a bit harder over to the left. I think they might be hoping to make it in one. So GC Sails might do 2 less tacks than Black Knight and Shore and Partners New Zealand, which might help them make a little bit of a gain to get up closer to that second spot.
A smeg above Yandu. Yandu coming back now to go in towards George's Head. There's the Western Channel pile. Safely negotiated by the Black Knight. And the breeze is down again up here towards the weather mark. Still plenty, but nothing near it was down at the leeward mark. So it's a big straight run, VMG run now, back down to the starting area once they round here. So that's going to be an interesting run also. Pick your jibe angles. Can the bigger sail Yandu run them down?
It certainly will be an advantage, Shippo, so it'll be interesting to see how much ground they can make up.
That's GC sails bouncing off George's head. Top of the screen, right in the gap, which is the gap, is the Black Knight. And he's got to have a tack back and about 50 or 60 metres to come back on starboard. Right just south of the Sound Pigs Reef, this turning mark. The breeze about 15 knots.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the reading, Shippo, and they have dropped off a little. There's still a few spiky gusts. But, yeah, breeze down a little bit. When we're getting down to the bottom end, it's about 15, 16 knots. But it is still gusting up to 19.
Okay, Black Knight should be tacking any second. There they go. And GC sails coming in hard on a port lay. Where's our New Zealand friends?
They're just behind GC sails.
Oh, so GC sails are second now.
Yeah, like I said, Shippo, they went hard into the left and they've come in on one tack.
Black Knight are around. Straight into a set. Are they? No, jibing. Okay, GC sails will be second. They're about 20 seconds adrift. They've opened up nicely on the Shore and Partners New Zealand. Okay, Scotty Cunningham with Joel Turner and Dave Cunningham are around straight into a jibe. Been very impressive this week. Third on the point score. Second on the water today. That will hang in around there. You'll cement that third position. So those two are around and set, the two leaders. Next will be the top New Zealand boat, Shore and Partners New Zealand.
Eli Leifting.
Yep, he's around. What are they going to do? All jibe setting. Next will be
Vycobi, mate, Kirk Mitchell.
Vycobi. This is all very close here. Vycobi, Yandu to windward, Smeg in the middle, Lazarus to leeward. It's hard to get that dial down with that big rig, get a gust and things for Yandu. So that's interesting. They've just done a bear away set. Everyone else has done a jibe set. Yandu are off. Then a big gap. Next will be the Bigfoot. And Shore and Partners Australia, they've made a big comeback.
Yeah, it certainly has. They were a fair way back. Shore and Partners Australia.
They're
Good
quick.
game.
Then Rag and Famish after them, sixth. Balmain and the Kitchen Maker. But we're off back to Clark Island. It's this long BMG run straight down the harbour.
Starting to see the gaps open up a little bit here, Shippo. So we've got Black Knight stepped down a little from GC Sails.
Well, he's a long way in front now.
Yeah, and GC Sails stepped down a little bit from Eli Leifting and Shore and Partners New Zealand. A little bit close between Vycobi, Lazarus and Smeg. There's Shore and Partners New Zealand. Got a bit of pressure coming down here. Boats are getting through the water pretty quick. We're charging down next to them and they're probably doing very high teens, probably 19 knots downwind here. Water's flattened out a bit.
Running into Taylor's Bay, these two leaders, but Yandu have split.
Yeah, Yandu did the straight set at the top rather than the jibe. Get a bit of separation. They were in a pretty tight pack. Good gust for relay lifting here. Really smoking along now. He's almost at that jibe angle that the first two boats went. Whether he continues to run deeper or jibe, we'll see. GC Sails and the Black Knight on a line, taking them just below Shark Island. We're motoring down the harbour just to keep up with these guys. There's some speeds on screen and the leaderboard. Speed's down just a bit now. They're in a little bit of a lighter patch. And you can see the lead boats and the distances top left of your screen. Good information.
That's the Black Knight, jibed onto starboard. He's got a couple more jibes yet. And that's GC Sails hammering down. They're about, distance showing about 100 metres.
Black Knight doing a fantastic job thus far.
Saving the best till last.
They certainly are. Taking them a little bit to warm up.
Bouncing their way downwind. Oh, a couple of waves they're through.
Just having a look under the boom for a moment there. They're probably not too far off a jibe. Here we go.
Stay with the boys. Yeah, nice job. Nice jibe. GC Sails behind them now on starboard jibe.
Oh, GC Sails running a very deep angle on a big gust. Looks like we've got the breeze filling in again behind us, Shippo. A bit more pressure coming.
Well, he's got a long way to come in on starboard jibe, the Black Knight. He's got to judge this pretty well here.
Yeah, 11 another jibing in. There's GC Sails jibing. A bit deeper. Down the bottom here, it's very bumpy now. As we found when we came out of here to go upwind last beat. Very, very choppy down near Clark Island. Making things a little bit difficult. And here goes Black Knight. They've picked a ley line, starboard ley line into this bottom mark.
Yeah, looks pretty good.
They've done well. May have just opened up a little bit more distance in that last exchange. Just crept away a touch from GC Sails.
Yeah, had a very good run. So one beat left, and then the run to Shark Island, and then the run to home. So the Black Knight. Let's get that jib on. They'll be a little bit better. There they go.
Next in GC Sails. Right now they are putting zero doubt on their third place overall for the regatta.
Oh, just behind them, the see them in a moment, is the top Auckland team, GC Sails, on their way towards Bradley again, Bradley's Head. So what do we got coming down here? We've got Lazarus with the black Spinnaker, then out to leeward, top left is Vycobi.
Vycobi will be the first of that group in, I think, but Vycobi's having to go for an early drop here.
Yeah, they will. Lazarus have jibed up. Okay, here's Vycobi. They'll drop jibe. And Lazarus coming in with a black chute. They've got a bit on. There's Yandu come into the picture. They'll jibe drop, I would think. All of Vycobi have jibed at the mark. Yandu crew.
Smeg out to windward of
Smeg,
all three of them.
He might get in early, Smeg here. No, or will they? No, who's going to get there first? Smeg will. They've got boy room or mark room. Okay, a bit of yelling. Yandu. No risk then. Came from a long way round.
Yeah, he definitely chose to just stay out of trouble there, Herman winning.
So Yandu, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th. So they've had 2 7ths so far. Now can they improve on that? And then following them will be Shaw and Partners Australia.
They've made up further ground on that run.
And then will be Balmain. Then the Bigfoot. Well, speed run down here to this mark, then 6th.
Then probably the Kitchen Maker.
As the partner of today's race, the Kitchen Maker. All skips having a terrific run down the harbour in this 15 to 18 knot northeasterly breeze. It's a lovely day. For the final day of the championship, the final day of the season. So Balmain are around, and then there's Rag and Famish. So there's Balmain. Following them will be 6th.
Rag were very lucky to survive the jibe.
Okay, there's 6th.
Nearly went in.
Bigfoot are around also behind 6th. And then Club Marine coming down, just dropping the Spinnaker with Rag and Famish behind them. And then Kitchen Makers around going upwind. So it's Club Marine, Rag and Famish, ASCC. And then following them are Andu.
USA. A little bit of a spike in the breeze now. Breeze is back up again.
Andu jibes a chute, carrying it in. Well done. Oh yeah, the breeze is
it's spiked up, Shippo.
Good as we've seen it today.
Yeah.
So that'll make things hard for the blokes with the big rigs on. The red Spinnaker belongs to the Brisbane 18-footers. And Bar Karate with the white chute, just getting through their jibe. So those two are a fair way back. Coming in also with a white chute, Fisher Paykel.
Yeah, Brett Van Munster's lost a bit of ground on that lap. I wonder.
Maybe age has caught up with him.
It's been a long week. Yeah.
9 races in all conditions.
But he sailed well all week. I think so. Something might have come unstuck for him on that last lap. There's the Bar Karate. I think the boys from the UK have had an absolute ball coming out to sail the boat.
Yeah, Ian Turnbull, Harvey
some Sydney
Hilary,
summer.
Stuart Keegan. Leon, actually, the skipper, he lives in Hobart these days. So he's up for the regatta. Manly Ferry going round Bradley's Head, bound for Manly.
He's holding a couple of those boats out to the right, the ones who didn't get across him early. So right now, Shaw and Partners, Kitchen Maker, They're pinned out to the right-hand side of the ferry, can't get back across.
There's Ballard Properties chasing down Gotcha for Life, and our friends
The Danes.
Yeah, this is a perfect day to 18-foot skiff sailing. Plenty of wind. 18-foot sailing at its very, very best. Sparkling harbour. And it's the Black Knight from Germany that are in control of this race at the moment. We're about 2/3 of the way through.
Yeah, we would have been pretty blessed if we got 7 days of this for the championship, but it's been great to have a real mix of conditions. 18-footer bar and restaurant, a little bit behind, but ripping along.
Oh, Luca Gambacorti, hang on to her, son. That's the boy. Don't mess your jibe up. So the leading pack now are getting up towards Bradley's to Taylor's Bay. There's Keegan York, Shore and Partners are short of second place in this regatta, but he's making some big inroads. He's absolutely flying along with his second rig on. He's already done a penalty turn, maybe 2, but then going across his bow is GC Vycobie, I think it is, going out.
That's Guarana Eatery.
Coming down.
Spinnaker up.
Right.
And same, they may be a little bit behind, but they are ripping
Great
down
ride.
wind. Yep. Absolutely. Look at that. Great stuff. Kiwis, these conditions are a little bit more Auckland-like, maybe a bit warmer.
Six, just gone round the mark at Bradley's Head and going out towards Rose Bay, Shark Island. Meanwhile, right up ahead into Taylor's Bay, we can't see them, that's tacking is Smeg tacking, but right in Taylor's Bay, the Black Knight.
They're coming into shot in just a moment.
There's Lazarus tacking. It's the battle between Lazarus and Smeg.
Yeah, Tom Koenig putting a little bit of heat on Ash Brooklyn. Not sure where are they on the point, Shippo. I think they're pretty close, aren't they?
Lazarus is 4th on the points, and Smeg is 9th. He's got a bit of work to do, Ash, to get back in front of Lazarus on points. Lazarus have won 2 heats and have had a second and a disqualification as they bounce through some really nasty powerboat wake. There's some ferries coming down.
Big waves.
Big waves everywhere. So
Captain Jimmy navigates us through. Thank you, mate.
They're going to Chowder Head, these boats. Taylor's Bay at Shore and Partners New Zealand going out on port tack. And then coming out in front of these two, behind Shore and Partners, is Vycobie across Smeg and Lazarus.
Everyone coming up this left-hand side except GC Sales have chosen to go right out in the middle. Yandu out there as well.
See these powerboats coming back from the Manly quarantine area after lunch. They're just ploughing down the harbour. Breeze is nice here again at Taylor's Bay. It's probably 15 plus.
Word got out that your award for the year hasn't been handed out yet, Shippo.
No, I've got one up my sleeve. I've got about 200 up my sleeve, but I think one stands out, really. Get to that a bit later. Or maybe 2. And it happened probably very recently. Anyway, watching the Smeg is following out Lazarus and Vycobie. GC Sails, they've gone right into Nielsen.
Yeah,
Off camera.
big call splitting from the fleet by that far.
Yandu have gone hard right also.
Thought we're in the old Camry Cat, then I ducked. Jumping
Old
over
habits
the
die
waves.
hard.
Had a challenging couple of days, Jimmy, driving the Camera Cat.
That's Yandu coming out of Rose Bay. Lazarus coming out of Taylor's Bay. So Lazarus an easy cross.
Yeah, I don't think heading to that Rose Bay side paid off for Yandu. Probably given away a bit of distance. He rounded the bottom mark pretty close with Lazarus and Smeg.
Tracker's got Smeg 6th, Yandu 7. Shaw and Partners Australia 8th. So that was pretty much the order at the leeward mark the last time. But the harbour looking reasonably clear, looking up to the windward mark. Shaw and Partners going in towards Nielsen Park in the middle of the stream. Just going to tack back. Wants the left-hand side. But still, they'll be third.
Sure, Partners New Zealand, but just coming into shot in a moment will be GC Sails.
Well, there's the two protagonists, for first and second. First on the left, which is the Black Knight. GC Sails coming out of the right.
And made a bit of a gain, Chippo.
100 metre showing the differential. So I think they'll extend right up into the left again where they did same as the last two times.
Couple of big boats coming down. Fortunately, that ferry's heading to Manly.
Yeah, GC Sails got to keep their eyes open now. There's a lot of power boats.
Yeah, you're about to see one, and when they tack, they're going to be punching at areas. They're going to be punching into that wash.
Just a very courteous bloke, just goes as fast as he can through the fleet.
Oh, there's more coming, mate.
Yeah, there's more to come.
Shippo's award night's bigger than we thought. Oh,
Could be.
It's a sellout. It's a sellout, the awards night.
having it a guess that they don't get you to host the International Boat Show, Shippo.
International Powerboat Show? No.
Yeah.
I'm banned. They won't let me in. Which I find it's hard to believe. Oh, he's closed the game up a little here, Scotty Cunningham.
Still gaining, isn't he?
It's now about 70 metres we're seeing. Oh, there's another powerboat, very friendly, straight across the front.
And another one.
Another one, yeah. There's another one coming. You couldn't make this up, really. Just up and down. The gap is about down close to 60 metres. So the run to home is going to be exciting. GC Sails not on a ley line quite. That's the mark. You see that yellow buoy between just to the left of that laser up there.
We'll see. I think GC Sails might be able to just work a bit of height and get there, whereas
very impressive.
Black Knight have got a lot more
lot
work
of squeeze to do.
Yeah.
So it could mean two more tacks on Black Knight. Just taking a little bit of a header there, GC Sails. Coming into more pressure. Yeah, GC Sails coming all the time at the Black Knight.
Yeah, if he can get to a point where he's confident he's got the height and can put the bow down a little bit and go fast, he'll be right on him.
It's not quite there yet. Can't see the windward mark. You'll see it in a moment. There it is. There it is.
Heinrich squeezing to try and get there, and in doing that, he's going slow.
Yeah. High and slow. GC just might be able to crack a whisker. Now the Black Knight's getting up there, but he's slow.
Time for Scott Cunningham to put the hammer down.
Yeah, I think he's well over at the moment. Race is on here.
He can be right on their tail at this mark.
I think
it's going to be game on.
The Black Knight will probably be just laying at the moment, but if he looks over his shoulder, he'll see GC Sail just sprung and flying. Look at it, it's close. Well, the
boat race.
championship is going to deliver another great boat race. Black Knight, he's laid that mark. He didn't look as though he was going to for a while, but he held up there. 30 metres, we think, was about the differential.
Crucial sets coming up for both these boats.
So they'll just do a bear away, you'd think. Okay, Black Knight's around, GC Sails around. Good set from the Black Knight. They've had some terrific Spinnaker sets today. Okay. Dave Cunningham and Joel Turner working hard to get this Spinnaker up.
Little wine glass coming
out. Okay, we're away to the finish. We're away to Shark Island, and then it's to the finish. Black Knight has jibed. This is tense moments for Heinrich. What's GC going to do? Go extend a bit further, I would think.
I think he is going to push a bit further. Here they go. He'll go on his line. And they've really opened up a big gap to third place, Shippo. We've still got Shaw and Partners New Zealand in third place and Vycobi right on his hammer.
Yeah, they're third and fourth. Smeg's dropped off a little. Okay, we'll go with the leaders. Here we go.
And Shaw and Partners Australia through Yandu now, Shippo.
There, we saw him coming. He was very quick. So, G Sail chasing hard for the Black Knight of Germany.
Good angle for GC Sails.
Outstanding performance by both these boats today. The final heat. GC Sail's been a model of consistency. They've had a 7th, a 2nd, a 13th, a 3rd, an 8th, an 8th, 6th and a 5th. Today they're at 2nd spot, running to Shark Island and then home. Just getting a bit lower than the Black Knight.
And how's the points influence for Black Knight if they take this one out, Shippo? Currently they're on
53. It'll jump them. Shaw and Partners New Zealand. I think that's about all they'll do. Maybe 6th.
Yeah.
They might get up to 4th place or 5th place. Okay. Jibe done on Black Knight, jibe done on GC Sails. Now it's the run to Shark Island. This is where it gets a little bit tricky. If you underlay a little bit, you can have trouble down the back of the island, the eastern side of Shark Island. It's the white water coming off both boats, maximum speed.
So you can see GC Sails has chosen to jibe in above the line of Black Knight, but will they get enough pressure all the way down Rose Bay here
I think it's a smart move. He's probably hoping they don't lay cleanly on the Black Knight. Might give him a little chance to open the door. But at the moment, both of them are screaming downwind. Black Knight won't want to give much away to Lewin.
So if they get good breeze here, it'll advantage GC to close the gap up a bit. But if it gets light, it
looks as though it's going to be a bit lighter ahead and to windward.
Yeah, and it looks to me like the Black Knight have picked a very good angle here.
Very nice at the moment. Yeah, GC Sail just struggling a little bit. Haven't got the pressure that the Black Knight have got. Look at the Black Knight in the distance. They look pretty well judged on this lay line at the moment. Like they get a couple of squirrely ones down the side of the island. GC Sails are now high on the mark.
Yeah, GC Sails have just dropped a man in.
They got a man in, yep.
They're going to try and soak down to this mark a little, whereas Black Knight 3 strings coming in hot.
Looks a good judgment on the Black Knight at the moment. They're about 100 metres from the turning mark, the jibe mark, and then they're run for home.
Couple of manoeuvres and they'll be there. They've just got to pull them off cleanly. Yeah, they've made this mark easily.
Yeah, GC Sails very high on the mark. They rolled the dice a little bit jibey early. That's okay. They've got enough in there, up their sleeve to still be in second place. There's no threat there. They've opened up a real gap on the third place. Okay, the Black Knight extending a little bit. Not far off a jibe, I wouldn't think. 220 is the lead, so he really extended from around the weather mark.
Yeah, they were down to 50 or 60 metres on approach to the top mark.
Okay, Black Knight's through. Crew work's been outstanding today. You see how light it is for GC Sails up high in the corner of sort of Rose Bay.
They've got a big gap back to third place, so they're pretty safe.
Just a nice run home.
A little bit light where they are now, near the island. Good move choosing to leave their jibe a bit late.
Another 100 metres or so, they'll have plenty. Just starting to pick up pressure now. Will they carry this chute to the finish? Okay, now they're wicked up. Now Point Piper comes into play. A couple of blokes in a kayak are going to get a bit of a shock here in a minute.
That's Malcolm and Lucy.
Got their life jackets on anyway. They're away to the finish. They're bound for home. Black Knight of Germany.
Adding another different winner to the championship. Lazarus, the only other boat besides Yandu to win more than one heat.
So the Black Knight have had an 11th, a 10th, an 8th, a 5th, a 3rd, a 12th, a 4th, and a 12th. So they'll drop the 12 and count the one today, we would think. I won't get too far ahead of myself, but it looks pretty definite that they're going to win this one. Just round the side of Point Piper in beautiful conditions.
What are you seeing up the bay there, Jimmy?
Trying to keep an eye out for Yandu, but I haven't seen him since the top mark. So.
Right.
So they'll be laying the finish line. Flying home here now. About 250 metres to go. The Martin brothers. Andy and Tom with Heinrich von Bayen. What a thrill to take this championship victory. Look completely in control.
For the last time this summer, Shippo, they're percolating, mate.
They are. They're absolutely percolating. I didn't want to use that. It's one of your better ones, Doll, I think.
Oh, okay, look at
so
that.
Fantastic. Little bit of a flog as they get to the... So Black Knight of Germany takes that 9th and final heat of the championship. Well done. Very happy boys.
Yeah, Heinrich, Tom and Andy. Andy just pumping the fists there. They are stoked.
That is a very impressive win.
Congratulations, boys.
Left the best till last. And here comes GC Sails. Well, you've got to congratulate this team. You know, they've been by themselves for a long part of this year, working up away in Brisbane, commuting between Victoria and Queensland, weekend after weekend for Dave and Cunningham and his brother Scott. working with Joel Turner, the Sailmaker. They've lifted this performance, and they will finish second, and so doing will be third in the championship. Congratulations to them. Very, very well done.
They've sailed exceptionally well, Shippo, and three really nice blokes too, I might add, and they just loved sailing the 18 and coming down here when they could, and got their work done. They've worked hard and they've reaped the reward for it. It's really good to see, and I'm sure both the people up at Brisbane, 18 footers, and Darling Point, and also Scotty and Dave's many friends down at their home club at Macrae. I'm sure everyone down there at Macrae is tuned in watching the race. G'day to all of you. And I'm sure you're proud of what the boys have achieved.
Here comes the New Zealand top boat, Shaw and Partners New Zealand. Eli Leifting, Sam Street, Josh Shon, another third today. They've had a third and a fourth. Shaw and Partners New Zealand. Probably a bit more time needed on the water. As they said, they were new to this boat. And they've another that have come good towards the end of the series. So that's third for them. So they will finish.
And on a charge, who were well back earlier, here comes Shaw and Partners Australia.
Well, I think that will mean the Black Knight will probably jump Shaw and Partners New Zealand on the point score, 54 to 55. That moves them from 7th to 6th. But anyway, we're watching Shaw and Partners. Where does he come from?
From the clouds.
He's got 4th.
Good way to finish off the regatta for them, and also just before them, the Vycobi, Kirk Mitchell. They've had a bit of a tough week. Good result for them.
So they got third. Vycobi were third. Shaw and Partners 4. Shaw and Partners and Lazarus 5. No, sorry, Vycobi 4. Shaw and Partners 5. Lazarus 6.
That's right.
So, Shaw and Partners Australia for Keegan York, Tom Anderson, and Max Paul, the third time that Keegan has been runner-up in this championship. As Smeg just getting across in front of 6. Good comeback by Ash Rooklin. So Smeg 7, 6th is 8th. Where's Yandu? Have we seen him?
We've lost them, and we think they might be in the drink somewhere.
No damage done.
Yandu is up near Bottling Glass currently.
Oh, okay, off camera 6, they've capsized, they've crossed the line. So it's going to be a long wait to put the championship ribbon on. Glass, here comes the Bigfoot. They'll be 9th, and then Balmain 10.
Won the battle of the big rigs. Balmain, Henry Larkins.
Go to 41, 55, 55. So Lazarus, where do we get Lazarus? 6, so he'll be 6, 46, 52.
Good sailing from the Bigfoot boys too, you know. Visitors obviously don't get the level of competition every week, and they've shown real good moments of brilliance in sailing this week.
ISCC. They are next. Started the regatta so well. Faded a little bit, but a good today at 11th. Then the Kitchen Maker. Then the Rag and Famish. They're at 13th spot. Oh, is this,
and next up for them is Emma Rankin in the Club Marine, and
absolutely
she is
flying.
Not going to die wondering.
No, they're not. And they get to the back of the bus, folks, because they're...
What a terrific job. They lane the finishing line. Who cares? Yes, they will. Oh, bit of ragging the chute here. They got about 50 metres to go. Oh, don't run into the committee boat. No, they're going to get there. 14th position. Great finish.
Before we picked them up on camera, they were absolutely
Launched. There was water going everywhere.
Yeah.
So, provisionally, I've got Yandu wins, Shore and Partners Australia second, GC Sales third, fourth Lazarus, fifth Black Knight, and then a tie for sixth between sixth
Yandu
and Shore and Partners, New Zealand. But Yandu are the champions, yet to finish. Who's this coming next with the red shoot? Is this
That's the Brisbane
18s?
18-footers with Andu USA up on their hip. They
Coming
keep on
in
sniffing real bad.
Yeah.
Hang on, well, boys, look at them. They're launched.
The American boys, their last ride for the regatta, having an absolute cracker.
Andu, 16.
I reckon their tickets are already booked for next year.
Yeah, lock it in, I think. They've had an absolute ball.
And then
Killer Coffee.
Killer Coffee, they've done well. Boats finishing quickly here. And then Brett Van Munster dragging the chute to the finish. These boats have all had a terrific ride down here. Well, we're waiting for Yandu to get the championship ribbon.
And it's a tradition for all the skiffs to stay out here on the water until that happens. And they're waiting. But I can see Yandu now, Shippo. They're just up. They've just jived off Shark Island. They will be here promptly.
Well, as we said earlier, it was only a victory lap today. The title was assured yesterday. And the ribbon today, the championship ribbon, is always given to someone of note or of that have done yeoman service for the 18s. The ribbon today is going to be put on board by Steve Quigley, who won the championship way back in 1996, 30 years ago, in AEI Pace Express. Steve, a life member of the 18-footers, director of the 18-footers. So he's been given the honour today. And one of his crew, the great Rhys Cleary, is there also assisting him. And his other crew member, Craig Ferris. I don't know whether Craig's here today, but it's going to be put up by Steve Quigley whenever Yandu gets here. So there's...
good finish here.
There's a good finish.
The Danes.
Oh, who's getting rolled? There's Bar Karate rolling over the top.
Over Gotcha for
Gotcha
Life.
For life. Look at them all flying home. So Yandu is trying to chase down Ballard Properties. There's not too many behind Yandu, are there? I would think the 18-footer bar and restaurant would be somewhere
There's
there.
two just up at near the top mark, Shippo. There's you've got Ekarana Eatery and the 18-footers.
Okay.
Bar
Who's
and
Beck
restaurant.
Hancock? She's getting a good ride. The Ballard Property team. Cam Walker and Ed Swain. Really great run to the finish. What a way to finish the season for these 18-foot skiffs. And then down in about 21st position is the champion. Well, it was a day they could relax. They gambled on a big sail.
They're pushing that big rig right to the limit.
Let's hope the rig stays in the boat.
Well, that's what I was thinking, Shippers. That main is twisted off hard. It's not getting much help.
They've got to get the ribbon up that mast, but here they go across the line. About 30 metres to go. The champion for 2026, Yandu. Herman winning, Fang Warren and Louis break. Running into the spectator craft now. Had a relaxing day out there, had a capsize. But who cares? It's their championship. This boat has won 3 years in a row now. Herman winning takes his second title. He won on Andu with Sevi Jarman and Sam Newton back in 2023. Yandu, the boat that's been sailed by the Americans today. Last year was Yandu with Tom Needham. The year before, Yandu with Mika Lane, but this year it is Herman winning with Louis Brake and Fang Warren, once again the champions this boat. Fang and Louis have been the last 3 titles. Here's the ribbon just going to go across now. I think Steve Quigley's in the rib. Riz Cleary there, I think he is.
Yeah, Riz is just standing behind the skipper.
He'll get some mileage out of this, Rizzo. Here they are, going to get the championship ribbon. One of the most sought-after titles in skiff racing. Breeze is up a strong nor'easter now. About 18, 20 knots. It's going up towards Clark Island, trying to get a bit of a lee. There's not much of a lee out here. It's the windward of Clark Island, that is for sure.
They don't want to run out of water here.
No, they're going to have to... Trying to Steve Quigley there and trying to get up to them to hand the ribbon over. I don't think he's done it yet.
I think they've backed off. They might wait for him to attack, maybe, are they?
Yeah, I think so. Gee, it's windy here now. So Yandu just tacking away from Clark Island. Okay, there's Steve Quigley handing it over now. There's Steve. Next to him, behind him, Riz Cleary. Bottle of champagne. A wonderful performance for this regatta. They've got the deck tricks to get the ribbon up without it fouling, and
it's always tricky.
Yeah. But they've got the ribbon, that's the main thing. And they are the champions for 2026.
Deserved winners.
Absolutely.
By far the most consistent through the regatta.
Yeah,
got the job done with a day to spare, and there's a ribbon up the mast, but it's caught at the spreader.
They have that ability to get out of trouble, clear their air, and terrific boat speed, terrific handling. Today, well, we'll just put a cross against today. It really didn't matter much.
Boys are into the champagne.
So, as we said before, John Winning, or Herman Winning, joins his father as the only 2 that have won as father and son as skippers of the JJ. It's a tremendous achievement by this boat and this crew. Only joined the team just after Christmas, but now they are the JJ champions, and they belong to a very famous group of yachtsmen that have won this title, going right back to 1938, when Bert Swinburne won the title in Taree. And the names there that are the who's who of 18-foot skiff sailing. You know, Kenny Beechel, Lenny Heffernan, Peter Mander from New Zealand, Billy Barnett, Bill O'Hayward, Bobby Holmes, Don Lidgard, Terry McDell, Dave Porter, Ian Murray, of course, Peter Sorensen, Rob Brown, Trevor Barnabas, Michael Walsh, Scotty Ramsden, Julian Bethwaite, Michael Spees, Trev Barnabas again, and then in more recent times, Michael Coxon, Sevi Jarvan, won more than anyone as skipper, Lee Napton's there, Ewan McNichol, Rob Greenhale, Howie Hamlin, John Harris, Mika Lane, of course, as we said, Tom Needham, so many famous names there that now Herman Winning once again puts his name on the honour board to be the JJ champion. So we're winding down here. We're winding down after 5 long months, and a lot of people to thank. And firstly, thank the committee that have really worked hard to put this regatta together. On the start boat, we've got Hugh Lester, of course, Lorraine, Julia, Jeff and Rob have worked very hard, not only this week but throughout the year. The Mark Set bot team of Matt and Hugo. In the ribs we had Peter Tinworth, Rob Maxwell, Ewan, Philby, Mark Healy, Warren, Sayre and Tony. So thank you all, volunteers that have put this season together. I think that it's been a wonderful season. We've seen some wonderful racing, and I think everyone has enjoyed it. As we're watching Yandu now, just still going around the towards the Lady Hopetoun, the old historical ferry that's out here with Herman's father and mother on board. Delighted, I'm sure. And there's the Lady Hopetoun. Just
historic vessel, seeing some history being made.
Absolutely. And all the fleets stay out here. It's tradition to wait for the winning boat to get the ribbon put aloft, and they'll go in and have a drink or three, and then the big presentation at the club tonight. So the season is over in a lovely conditions. If it get any more days like this, we want it never to end really, but it has ended. Final race of the JJs. Yandu the champion, Shaw and Partners Australia the runner-up, and GC Sails in third position. So let's say a few thank yous to our team on board the Sail Media boat that have worked hard all through the year. Sam Brasher and Dylan on the drone duties, been absolutely fantastic. I think you'll agree the shots that we've got from the drone have been absolutely magnificent, and still Dylan's getting those shots as Yandu goes sailing home towards Double Bay. So to Dylan and Sam, Piers Hasgard on the cameras, some fantastic footage we've got. And don't forget John O'Witty, who's been able to fill in a few days when Piers has been on long service leave. To the man behind the scenes, Chits, Michael Giltinan, outstanding production and coordination and producing this affair. It hasn't been easy. It's there's a lot of cameras and a lot of action. There's a lot of idiots out here on and off the water, but Chits has navigated it all through. And to Dolly Davala, Dolly, insightful as always. The knowledge has been great. It's been terrific to work alongside you all year. Long may it remain and long may it continue. Who knows where we'll be, but it's been an absolute delight and honour and thrill to work with you. And then finally, before I thank Jimmy Bury, I've got a couple of awards to make. It's probably the Kumquat Awards. I know you're already hanging on this, but I think we left the best till last. That effort yesterday of that yacht going across the start line in the opposite direction to the fleet with the Spinnaker up, I think he's a gold medalist for this year, but it was pushed hard by the big power boat that got stuck up at the weather mark in Rose Bay yesterday also. He put in a really gold medal performance. So I think the best to last, like we saw in the bit of the sailing today, those two won the annual Kumquat Award. So as we wrap up and watch Yandu just try and untangle the ribbon at the top of the mast, to Jimmy Bury, whose Sail Media team have put this whole thing together, we say thank you to Jimmy. I mean, it's got to be here to experience how difficult it is to get this camera cat round the harbour, not only to dodge the 18-footers, but to dodge power boats, ferries and yachts. It is very, very difficult. And Jimmy, you've done a masterly job. I think we've only had one near collision when someone had called us a kumquat yesterday. That was the kitchen maker, the boys, I think. George Morton gave us a watch for, but we had nowhere to go. So we'll take that as a compliment if someone's calling us a kumquat. So to Jimmy, thank you for you and what you've done with this program. I'm sure everyone at home has enjoyed it. I know that the skiffies themselves have enjoyed it, and they watch it at Sunday night or on Monday to see if they can learn anything, and probably watch it with the commentary down. But anyway, we've enjoyed really bringing it to you. So as we say farewell from the harbour for this season, as we watch Yandu for the final time, the champions for 2026, it's Peter Shipway for the final time, saying a very good afternoon and look forward to your company sometime, someplace, somewhere. Good afternoon.
Yeah, thanks, Shippo. I'll just add thank you to you, mate. Fantastic job, fantastic season again. Big thanks to Jimmy. He not only drives this boat, he lines up the shots. People don't realise how difficult what he does is. the boys behind us, and I also wanted to put in a big thanks to the sailors. You know, without putting on the show, it doesn't happen. They allow us fantastic access to them in the park and on the water. So big cheers to all the sailors. Great season all round. And last of all, thanks to everyone who tunes in each week and each day to watch the sailing. Without you watching and us being able to bring it to you, we wouldn't be here delivering this. So big thanks to everyone at home, and as always, we appreciate your comments, whether they're good and bad.
Yeah, the live chat has been wonderful, so I forgot to thank all you people, and thank you, Dolly, but still we're getting live chats, and I did make a fundamental mistake. How could I do it? So thank you to Kim McDowell. When I mentioned all the past champions, I forgot David McDiarmid, a 3-time winner from New Zealand. So Kim McDowell, the 1974 champion, you've got the final say. So apologies to David McDiarmid and his team. So this is it. It's all over. Well, we'll see you sometime, someplace. Good afternoon from the harbour, and thank you very much for everyone that has contributed to make this show what it is.
Good afternoon.